Welcome to TARTLEcast with your hosts Alexander McCaig and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of TARTLEcast. You are here with your hosts, Alexander McCaig and
Jason Rigby.
And Jason, what are we going to dive into?
Today I wanted to get into a little bit about the bid strategy and the purchasing and the way that works.
Okay.
In TARTLE.
Yeah. No, so that's fantastic. So TARTLE was designed to put the power structure back in the hands of the individual.
Right.
We've had all this information used on us, reaggregated, sold to someone that they can come and then sell us certain goods or services.
Right.
But we never had the option to relinquish it when we chose to. So now we had to employ something in TARTLE, a type of bid system that gave the power structure, the control back to you as the individual, right? You like power, I can tell. It gets you going, yeah?
Yeah. No, but I was looking
Tell
at
me,
it in the
Jason.
sense.
Tell me how you really feel.
So here's what I'm thinking. When you said bid strategy, I'm thinking of eBay.
Yeah.
And I just thought of like, and how long has eBay been around for?
It's been around for a long time.
Forever. I remember having on, what was those little machines that you could buy that would hook to the TV? And it would go on the web and it would take forever. And they were like little boxes that were
no,
running.
And
this is like
it came with the keyboard too.
Yeah, it came with the keyboard.
Remember had the road that would like load you up and take you through?
Yes, and I remember going on eBay and you would just wait for things to load. And then this was the ability to be able to purchase items.
Yeah.
I mean, you could buy a painting from, in Massachusetts.
Correct.
That was, it was just amazing at that time to be able to, and then you bid against other people.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I'm thinking of when I think of this bid strategy, it's like, how does it work compared to, is it like eBay, like where there's people coming in there and you're bidding against items or against data packets?
Yeah. So let's look at that. The structure of eBay, it's the inverse of it. It's the opposite.
Oh, okay.
You're the one now that is the person with the asset. So it's everybody has the asset. So it's instead of 1,000 people bidding for one thing, right? Mm-hmm. That one little toy or whatever it might be, that painting in Massachusetts. Right. Okay. It's
the oil painting.
The oil painting.
Done by Amish.
yeah, exactly. Right.
The guy praying.
Yeah. Yeah, on wood. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
So instead of all of us trying to bid for something,
right?
Okay, and only one person can receive it. Okay, only one person will receive that asset. In TARTLE, it's the reverse of that. That asset can be shared to a larger populace of people willing to purchase it.
Because it's your exclusive data, and then in turn they're looking at it, and so you have multiple buyers that are out there.
That's correct.
Looking for yours. So you have the power. Speaking of that word again,
thank you.
You have the power to be able to decide which way you want based on the bid structure. How does that go?
Right. So what happens is a buyer on the buyer terminal will come in and they'll be like, okay, I'm looking for a specific subset of information I want to purchase on an individual or group of individuals. They can put a one-time bid out. So what that's saying is, Jason, if I'm only going to interact with you once, all right, and that's the last podcast episode we ever do, okay?
Yeah, after today, we're done.
That's it. That's the final exchange.
Right.
After that point, they can choose. They can go in and be like, okay, I want to pay this amount for this many people, and I want to do it in a one-time shot, and that's it. So and then that's it. That's the interaction.
Now, does that constantly, once that data is released, then it's done and the transaction's complete?
That's
the bid has been. Is there multiple bidding scenarios in that, or how does that work?
No, I'm glad you asked. So, how do you extrapolate something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So, if you have a one-time bid, that's fantastic. Some people may only want to get something once, but what if you wanted to subscribe to your heart rate, right? Right. Or your body statistics over a period of time? Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be important that the exchange allow people to subscribe to your information. So
almost like a subscription service.
A subscription service, but they're subscribing to the things you create, your data, your identity, right? So when they come in, they're like, okay, I can do a single-use bid, or I can be like, I want to choose a group of people for a subset of time, right, on a specific piece of information, and I want to buy it either daily, hourly, monthly, and I want to do it for 6 months.
So you could take, I'm 46 years old, so you could take, okay, I want to grab this data for 40 to 50-year-old males in this region. Yeah. And I want to do it for 6 months.
Right. And you run that. Like an ad campaign, you want to push it out to people? Right. No. Now I want to get my information for 6 months, right from the source, right from the individual. Mm-hmm. But how does that interaction work? You, as a seller of that information, receive a notification on your web app. And it's saying, this party has sent you a bid, this anonymous party, and are you willing to give up that information for this amount of time? And that in doing so requires you to keep that information fresh and up to date so that it retains that value and you agree to giving up that information. Okay.
So when you log on to TARTLE, and you're searching the web or whatever it may be, it's turning around in it. So if it asks you a series of questions or whatever, then you're saying I made that relationship with this person,
correct,
in this amount of time, and so you would be answering those.
Yes.
And then that ensures that the person on the other end is getting the most cleanest, precise data.
Yeah, because it's always up to date right down to the second. They don't have to guess what's going to happen in the future, and they don't have to take the information that's happened in the past to figure out what's going on with you today. They can always find out what's happening with you right now. And that's something that TARTLE does that nothing else can offer, is offering those insights on who we are as individuals right now and what we create right down to that second.
I love that. And so how would somebody be able to get onto TARTLE or subscribe, or how does the process work for if I'm interested in getting on TARTLE? How would I do that?
Okay, now is that as a buyer or a seller?
Let's do the buyer first and then the seller.
Okay, so if you're a buyer, it's going to be a 3-step process. Okay, you're going to join the application by going to our website, tartle.co. All right. You're going to sign up as a buyer. Right. Okay, and then you're going to create or bid on the packets of information that you want. So
if I'm like I said, an insurance company in New Hampshire, it's as simple as doing a little 3-step process, and then I have that data, and then I can turn around and remarket to that, or
go ahead. You can do whatever you want with it. Right. Because you as an individual, if you're selling it, that's the agreement. That's the exchange. Beyond that point, it's done. You've chosen to receive it, and you will give it up at that point.
So as far as you are that exchange.
Yes.
And then you make sure that the data is protected.
Yes.
And I know we did another podcast on that.
Yeah, we talked about encryption. And
and I encourage everybody to do that. So what if I'm turning on, I want to sell my data? How would I, let's say I'm a consumer right now and I want to sell this data. How can I sign up?
Super easy. You go to tartle.co.
Okay. Tartle.co, like .co.
Okay. We're available on every web browser, regardless of your operating system on your phone.
Is it like a little thing that goes onto like Chrome or like because I use Google Chrome all the time.
You use Google Chrome all the time, right? You can take the application once you sign into it online and save it to your desktop like any other app. Except with TARTLE, it's never going to take up any data. Right. It's never going to require an update because we handle that on the back end, right? And it's always encrypted because it's going through 2 layers of your browser.
So it's not interfering.
It interferes with nothing that's going on, right?
What about if I have one of those big Macs? Sure. Is it the same?
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
If I have a Windows laptop?
That's correct. It will be no different depending on where you are geographically or the system.
iPad?
No, you can access it on phone, iPad, laptop, computer. It doesn't matter what it is.
So it's tartle.co.
Tartle.co. It's as simple as signing up for free. It'll cost you nothing and you have everything to gain.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to TARTLEcast with your hosts Alexander McCaig and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path. What's your data worth?